First off, I want to thank you all for coming. I honestly didn't think I'd be standing here again so soon. There's no doubt in my mind or any of our minds that passing of Cyrus has come to all of us as a complete shock. I think it was a shock to him too. Fought a long, hard battle in the hospital. He really did. He battled in there. I've had my own bouts in the hospital, but even I can't imagine what he went through in there. And I find comfort knowing that he's no longer in pain, that he is at peace, and I truly believe he's in a much better place. But before I really get started here today, I wanted to open the floor to anybody that would like to say anything about my brother, just anybody at all. So, please.
Hi, everyone. Okay. I'm Marilee Hoffman, and I'm a close friend of Linda's and now Kayvon's too. I met Cyrus only once at their home when Jay passed away. However, I do know that Cyrus was a very kind, thoughtful, bright, and good-natured guy and a jamming musician. He was a dedicated son, a loving brother to Kayvon, a wonderful nephew to Andrew and Linda's other brothers and their families, a special man to his dad's side of the family, and one fiercely devoted to his dear friends. Some of the special attributes that the Bayram family stands for are goodness, trustworthiness, loyalty, dignity, integrity, and courage. May each of us continue to support and wrap our love around Linda and Kayvon in our own special ways. Thank you.
Would anybody else like to speak at all? No pressure at all, but just want to leave the floor open.
Hi, everybody. I'm Ruth, and Linda, Jay, Kayvon, and Cyrus are very much a part of my and my daughter's family for the first 15 or so years of her life, and they're just very important to us, and we have memories that we cherish of our time with them, with all of them. My daughter's in Europe, and was very, very saddened and crushed to hear the news of Cyrus's passing. So I'm really up here for her and to give her an opportunity on behalf of her to spend a few more moments with her little brother, Cyrus. Thanks.
Hi everybody, my name is Neonish. Cyrus was so many things to all of us. Me in particular, he was one of the first closest friend that I had at beach school when I started going there. You know, it was great because not only was he amazing and we got along all the time, his family was so amazing. And I just remember my mother and my dad saying, you know, we're so glad that you found a really good friend who his parents are also awesome and so welcoming. You know, so from pretty much that point, we were inseparable as friends. And as we got older, I noticed that, you know, I remember picking up the guitar, and he would just, you know, say, hey man, learn that song by Black Sabbath, learn that song by Metallica, you know. And then I remember when he bought his guitar from Nick Hushman, and, you know, my skill level was here and his was getting up, and then it got to that point where he just skyrocketed, and he was teaching me things after a while, and you know, all the way till, you know, the other weekend, and he was always teaching me things, and that's one of the things I'm going to remember the most about him. So, we miss you much, buddy, and you'll always be in our hearts.
Hi, I'm Eulogy, and I was lucky enough to know Cyrus too. I know in beach school when we were in second, third grade, and we were best friends ever since. Every day, every weekend I was at his house, playing games, stay over. His parents take me out for food, we get cheesesteak, and we always get a free one. I still don't believe I miss him. I was happy to know him. I'm happy to be able to speak for him. Thank you.
Would anybody else like to say anything at all? If not, I'll proceed with the eulogy.
Just want to say I love Cyrus very much. He was, you know, for a while in my life, he was a really important person and one of my best. He was my best friend. I met him when I was like 11, and like if I didn't have him in my life when I did, I don't know where I'd be, but you know, it was a blessing being able to know him, and it's really good to see some people showing love to each other today.
Where do I begin? Cyrus was such a smart and intelligent and knowledgeable guy with many, many things and in many areas. You know, he had an unbelievable ability to remember things and recite different facts, and it didn't matter what it was about, whether we were talking about music or sports or something we heard in the news. He knew his stuff. I mean, I'm no slouch of a guy, but he was above and beyond anything that I've ever done. And he was just so smart and intelligent, and I know I'm going to miss those connections and those conversations that we had together over the years. He was my little brother that I did my best to look after and take care of and just show him the way. I mean, we did everything together as kids. We were each other's best friend, and at times each other's worst enemy. Like many siblings, we definitely butted heads at times. But we always made up afterwards, you know, and it's those kind of things that make you stronger. But we did everything together, whether it was walking down to Grand Lake Theater to see the newest Austin Powers movie 3 times, or just playing baseball at Beach Field in the middle of the summer until, I don't know, like 9 o'clock when the sprinklers would come on and we had no choice but to go home. I remember as kids, we traveled to the East Coast to visit family, my grandmother and some uncles. And there's some family on both sides from my mom and my dad that are over there. And I remember there's something that happened on the airplane where I think something in the bathroom fell down or slipped out and whacked him in the head. And I remember landing in Baltimore and there's all these like medics around, and I was like, no, he's fine. And then he starts coughing. He's like, no, I'm fine, leave me alone. Just don't bug me. It's just a little bump on my head, I'll be fine. And as we got older, we didn't do quite as much together. We sort of became independent of each other at times, but we still did a lot together. We went to a lot of A's games, and more recently, our biggest connection was music. We went to a lot of live shows together, a lot of concerts, from my very first Metallica concert to seeing Dream Theater to seeing an obscure guitar player named Buckethead to seeing an obscure bass player named Wes Claypool. We did it all, and he had a very eclectic taste in music, as do I. In many ways, I feel like I'm describing myself up here, but there were some key differences between us. Cyrus was very quiet in comparison to myself, which is not a bad thing at all. But back to the topic of music, he was a musical genius. I've been going through, just starting to go through some of his things in the last week or so, and I just looked under his bed and I found a stack of paper about that high. Flipped through this folder and a couple of binders there, and it's all music, all stuff that he wrote out by hand. 2 of his friends came over last week, and we went up to his room and took a look around, and one of them found this die, you know, like a roll of dice, you know, except this one had more than 6 sides. And on this die, he scratched out all the numbers and took a Sharpie marker and wrote the different keys that you can play in musically. And I guess what he would do with it was he'd take the die and he'd roll it, and whatever key it landed on, he'd play in that and he'd jam on it and come up with some different stuff. And I don't know how many of you know this, but the music that was playing as you walked in here today, that was all him. He recorded that back in 2008, and musically, if I had one wish, I wish he would have kept recording, because as good as that material is, he was so much better towards the end here. He was so much better, so much more talented. We used to play together quite a bit, and then kind of like Minos was saying, you know, we're both at about here, and then he just skyrocketed. For lack of a better term, he passed me by a long time ago. So I played a little bit of the bass just for fun, and I actually avoided jamming with him the last year or so because he was so good, and I didn't want to ruin his music. But we still did a little bit. Like the passing of my dad, there's yet another void in my life. Someone that was a big, big, big part of me for the last 21 years is no longer here to see and talk to and spend time with, but he remains alive through our memories. And I feel like it's a good thing to talk about him and keep those memories alive, keep his spirit alive. Like I said earlier, he suffered a lot, but he's free, and I'm happy for him because I know what he went through. To an extent, I know what he went through in the hospital. It's a miserable place to be, not gonna lie. But he's free now. He's in a better place. I wanted to just explain the quote here that's in his memorial card that was at the front there. These are lyrics from a song by one of his absolute favorite bands called Megadeth. And he actually picked these lyrics out for me to recite at my dad's funeral when I gave that eulogy almost 2 years ago. So when it came time to actually think about this, there wasn't really much thought to be put into it. I just knew that these were the right words, and I don't believe he would have wanted anything else. I'll quote another song by the same band and just say that the hardest part of letting go is saying goodbye. And I'm going to do that by leaving two of his picks with him. I don't know anybody that played guitar with a thick pick like this. These are meant for playing the bass guitar, but he played with these, and these are clearly filed down quite a bit because he just shredded away. So, to my brother Cyrus, I love you, I miss you, and